See, now what you should have done was, after you grab those 3, tell the guy, say, look, I'm not going to sell these back to you. I got to keep these, but I am going to give you a piece of advice that'll help you out. If you want to keep this from happening, Sniper only finds things that are for 1 copper. So next time, put them for like 3 or 4 copper, and it won't happen. And then wait.
You're listening to the Goblin Goldcast with Dex and Mac. I got mouths to feed, so let's get this thing started. Time is money, friend.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Azeroth. You're listening to the Goblin Goldcast, your guide to making gold in World of Warcraft. This is episode 57. I'm your host, Dex, coming to you from Napa, California. With me on Skype is a man who once gave his seat on the bus to a blind man, and that's why he's no longer a bus driver. My co-host, Mac, from Anchorage, Alaska. How you doing, Mac?
Well, at the time he was driving better than I was.
You lost your job to a blind man. Now that you're driving truck, I'm kind of worried that's going to happen to you again.
Well, it is what it is.
I've heard stories.
Well, up here in Alaska, winter's coming, and driving truck, winter's coming. Okay, winter. I'm kind of nervous about driving this truck in the winter time. Really.
I hear your winters out there last almost as long as they do in Game of Thrones. So.
Oh yeah. It is what it is, but I'm enjoying the time. Right now we're enjoying the weather. It's in the morning when you get to work. I work outside part of the time, and get to work, and you get the feeling like you need to put a jacket on first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the sun comes out, and then you need to take the damn thing off. It's freezing in the morning and overly warm in the afternoon. And what I mean by that is in the morning when I get to work, it's about 40 degrees, and then it gets to be about 60, and that's just too hot.
Well, listen, I'd ask you how your week is, but we're kind of short on time because we got an interview, plus nobody gives a shit. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about our Discord server? We can talk about that in a minute and then move on.
Well, we were setting up. We talked about setting up a Discord server last podcast. The Discord is up, and if you go to our Facebook page, you've got a link to the Discord. You can join us there. Dex and I are on there occasionally, but you can leave us messages, and or you can email us like you normally do.
Joining us on the show this week is someone you might be familiar with from YouTube and Twitch, Dozer Bob. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Doing great.
Hey, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks for giving us this interview this week. Why don't we start off by you telling a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, etc.
Well, my name is Dozer Bob. I'm 27. I live in Washington State. I've just been in the community for quite a while, several years.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you first started playing WoW? Everybody has a story of when they first got hooked on it, when you got started. Maybe a little bit about your first character, the race and class that you chose, and why you made that decision.
Did you get that first free invitation? Hey, here, try it a little bit, and then you get hooked.
Yeah, I had a couple of trial accounts, and it took me about 2 or 3 or 4 months to actually get into the game. My first character was an undead rogue on Area 52, and it was my friend's been bugging me about getting into the game. The only reason I picked the undead rogue is their dance animation, which is like a heavy metal head banging.
I have to admit, I had to make an undead character once just so I could name him Undead Rogue. I had to name him McStabbin. I am McStabbin. Yeah, I still have that character too.
Is that account still active though? I know you and I have both cut back on a couple of our accounts since.
I'm not sure if he's on my active account or not because I don't. It's on a realm that I don't go to that often anymore. So.
Is it just me, or is this expansion been really, really grindy? Oh my god.
Yeah, just a bit grindy. I'm so glad they took away the artifact knowledge and all that stuff. Everyone's up. Basically, it's a nice catch up right now.
Right. The catch-up mechanics are nice for those of us. I mean, I would not have played each one of my tunes, as often as I did to get everything caught up. If I would have known the catch-up mechanic was coming, I guess it's been a year. But
well, they really have no choice because they've already said the next expansion they're doing away with the artifact weapons. They're not going to expand upon them or even let you keep them, as far as I can tell.
Bastages.
There's going to be some kind of a mechanic. Well, you just did. There's going to be some kind of a mechanic where you have to throw it into the lava with Frodo's ring to save the world or something. There's something like that, but hopefully it won't be that lame.
Oh man.
Hopefully there'll be some kind of good lore reason why we have to get rid of these artifact weapons. That
we can throw our co-host in.
It'll be I know you spent all expansion building up this thing that we are now taking away. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I had a marriage like that once. But
we all.
So Dozer, prior to playing WoW, did you play any other MMOs? And if so, which ones?
I didn't play any MMOs. I was mostly a first-person shooter, like Halo, Medal of Honor, and the original Call of Duty on PC.
There you go.
Dex, you used to play a first-person shooter.
I used to play a lot of them back in the day, but their names were things like Quake and
I still have
3D.
I still have Quake and Unreal somewhere on one of my hard drives.
Oh man, yeah.
I know you used to cheat with your son playing Quake. You'd put him on the slower computer while you were on the.
Yeah, he had the slow computer, and it'd take him a long time to turn around, and I'd just stand behind him one way and just shoot him. But he'd be turning. He just didn't know that the turn had taken place. There'd be a bit of lag that I would take advantage of, but that brings us into the next question. If you played first person shooters, you got to be a PvP guy, right?
Yeah. Which it's a good serve. It's fun to do PvP, but when you're trying to farm out materials and stuff, it's not that great. So I have another account which is able to phase me over to a PvE server or even a RP server because nobody's farming on those RP servers.
Oh man, that's cheating. I gotta say. I mean, maybe not officially cheating, but that's like a woman. See, I'm going to get myself in trouble now. But that's like a woman that says, I believe women are every bit as good as men. We should have equal rights. Everything should be the same. Oh, could you open that door for me? I don't know. It's kind of like having your cake and eating it too,
Yeah, you're going to get hate mail.
Yeah.
And you need to send the hate mail to Dex at GoblinGoldcast.com.
No, I'll probably listen to that. I'll probably listen to that part later and say, I got to edit that out. But that's not going to fly. But,
so Dozer, as a player, would you classify yourself as a hardcore raider, filthy casual, somewhere in between? Do you like to solo, do dungeons, or PvP?
I will say I'm filthy casual now. Just sit at the AH, farm for about several hours a week, and make my gold. And don't really do raiding or LFR. I did majority of that stuff in Lich King, which was the height of my WoW time.
There we go.
But due to guild drama, girlfriend got with a boyfriend, cheated on another guild mate, moved over. I didn't want to deal with that drama after a full day of work and school.
Yeah.
Understood.
No, man. Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King was the expansion as far as I'm concerned.
What's your gear score?
What's a gear score? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Mrs. Mack is catching up to me. For the 1-2 that does raid, she was. Well, I'm at this score, and it was like, oh, great. I may actually. I may actually start playing that tune again.
Oh man, you know what? The add-on, since you mentioned it, the gear score, and the other one was the other one that people still use. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. Where you can see how much damage people have done and healing. And,
Recount.
Yeah. Back in the day when those two add-ons were being abused, I swear I was going to learn how to program an add-on just so I could make a copycat add-on that had a virus in it to destroy anybody's computer that used that crap. When somebody's saying, well, you were 3% lower than the other DPS on here.
He doesn't sound bitter, does he?
Well, I've had it go the other way too. I had a guy once in whatchamacallit, the those last 3 dungeons that they had in Wrath that they added late in the game, late in the expansion. Oh my God,
is that Pit of Sauron? No.
Yeah, Pit of Sauron was one of them, but they had 3 of them that went in succession. You had to complete one before you went to the next, and I haven't done it in years, so I couldn't remember the name. But
he's old, so we can give him an excuse. So.
I was in one of those, and some guy goes, "Oh my God, when did Beastmaster Hunters get good?" It's like because he was running recount, and he was expecting my damage to be dead last, and it wasn't because he had this in his head, So those sorts of things where people get it in their head that, oh, you're this class with this spec, therefore you should be here on the scale, But not.
Did you have poison arrows and a bunch of quivers to hold those arrows?
Oh my God! This was. I can't even. The hunter has changed so much since then. It's hard to even remember some of the things that we had to do. That was completely different. I think we still had to feed our pets back then.
Yeah, you had to feed your pets, and if you ran out of arrows, you had to go melee.
We had to raid. We had to raid uphill in the snow.
Yeah,
both directions. Oh man.
Yeah. So at some point, you decided you wanted to focus on gold making. At some point when you were playing this game, and why don't you tell us what inspired this, or maybe you were always feeling that way, or at what point in your playing history did this happen?
My one of my friends, one of my guildmates, bought my epic mount and my mount back and epic riding back in the day. So for me to repair, I don't remember how much gold was it back in the day. So I just went out and farm up materials. And ever since, I just found it relaxing, soothing, to a sense.
Listen to the sound of the coins chink together. Oh.
Yeah, and a lot of people want to feel rich in real life, and it's easier to do it in a game. Is a currency. Can't say, "Oh, I have 1 million gold." It makes you feel special, while you have like $10 in your wallet.
Right.
I only feel special when I get on that short bus.
And you know what? There's a difference too, because you can go to our swag store and get your gold cap bitches T-shirt, and wear it around all over the place, and nobody's going to rob you.
You're going to have to bleep that, you're.
I'm going to have to beep what?
Oh, never mind.
Gold cap bitches. That's the name of our shirt. Well, you can say bitches.
It's trademarked.
I am not going to bleep that. I'm not bleeping it. That shit's staying in. I'm telling you. Well, I'll bleep that. But the other one is the name of a product that we have. So now you made me talk about it so much it sounds like a commercial. Available for a limited time.
In 2 minutes.
For an unlimited time, yeah.
Unlimited time.
Unlimited time, yeah.
No, for a limited time. There's no... See, you're taking away the sense of urgency. What's the matter with you? Anyway.
Oh, my word. So, Duster, when did you realize this gold making thing was really working for you? What was your aha moment? What?
My aha moment, I don't know. It's like every expansion, it just I don't really like the in content stuff. It just seems grindy. Like currently, like 7.3 Argus stuff is super grindy. I'm like, I'd rather just. Some people get mad at me. It's like you could grind and farm up materials over and over for like several thousand hours, but when you chew like 1 hour of like new content stuff, you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's because you can put Netflix on and do the old content stuff. You've done it so many times, you don't even have to really look at the screen very many times. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I love the game. But I know grind in some of the other games is there, but this one has been really, really grindy. But it is what it is. We love the game, and we're going to continue doing it. But oh my word.
I'm gonna edit the next question just as I read it because you had all kinds of weird typos in it, so I'm gonna ignore it, Mac.
Oh yeah! Oh, holy crap!
I'm just looking at it right now, and I'm just realizing, wow, you really messed this up. You really screwed the pooch.
Yeah. I guess a bottle of scotch before I'm typing shouldn't. Anyways.
So anyway, Dozer, you've got YouTube videos that you put out and a stream on Twitch about gold making. How did that come into being? I mean, what was kind of the genesis of that?
About 2 years ago, I was watching a Twitch streamer called It's Tomorrow's, and they were doing this Veil key farming. And it's like, I wanted to stream on Twitch, but I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I enjoy gold making, and I didn't believe that people were going to watch me. So I just copied their techniques and farm. So I started doing it, and random people just start coming in. And it was hard at first, like trying to like talk to Nightbot or that one non-lurker viewer that don't say anything for 4 hours while you farm.
You're like there's one person there. You're like, you're cool if I like go to the bathroom real quick, right? They don't say anything. You're like, is this guy casing my house? What the hell's going on here? He's the only one on there, right?
Yeah. I got away from the Veil farm. Like I used to farm. May I post a link in the Skype?
What's that?
I posted a link in the Skype to show you how much I farmed the Veil.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll have to take that and.
Oh no! I looked at it. I saw it's a picture. Let's just say, full inventory. Yeah.
I farmed a Veil just a little bit.
Right. Wow. Spent a little bit of time on that.
That casually took me about several months, but if you no life it, hardcore it, it'll take less than 2 weeks to do that.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing when you're doing this sort of thing, when you're podcasting or streaming or whatever, and you realize people are actually listening to your stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I know Mrs. Mac was like, people are actually listening to you. I said, I know, honey, you don't listen to me, but
Yeah. Well, I've tried that on my wife, where I've said, I got like 16 letters from people that all, said that I'm right and you're wrong about such and such. Listeners to the show. And she gives me that look. She says, I don't believe you. And I say, okay, would you believe 5 listeners that said?
Tell your imaginary friends that I'm right.
Yeah. Okay, so would you believe that when I said it, Mac didn't roll his eyes? Would you believe that? So anyway, yeah, that's wow. I all that farming and everything. You know what I have to say, whenever I'm in there and grinding some old content, like I said, where you hardly have to pay attention, you're watching YouTube, makes me glad that I have kids, because one of my kids will wander into the office. What are you doing, Daddy? Oh, I'm just here. Let me show you what I'm doing. Can you do this? Can you hit this button every 5 seconds? Just this button right here. Yeah, the one. Hit the number 1 key every 5 seconds, and call me if this alarm goes off.
Don't touch anything. Just press this button.
Don't move any of the other keys. And if you see any text in this color right here, yell for me. Okay.
Keeps you out of trouble. Yeah. There we go. Well, kids are so easily amused, Jimmy. You just get them started on something, and they'll have a lot of fun. We used to do that with grandkids.
If you farm for 1 hour, I give you a candy bar.
Yeah. No, my kid will give me a candy bar if I let him do that. That's the thing. My kid was asking me today, Dad, when do I get to play World of Warcraft? I was like, well, maybe when you're a little bit older or Daddy's hands start cramping up, one or the other. Yeah.
You got to stop watching those channels, Dex.
There you go. Now I don't feel bad about the opening joke. So yeah.
Anyways, so Dozer, tell us a little bit about the philosophy of your channel. What makes you do what you do?
My philosophy is just to make the best of any situation and try to turn it into a positive. Like, when people try to get into your markets, you're just like, oh, they're flooding the markets, and you're like, oh, now my main gold income is gone, so I have to find something better or more potential value.
Dex said that with his first wife.
So I'm curious because I've never I've watched Twitch streams plenty of times, but I've never played around with it myself, and I've always been curious. There's got to be some really funny things that happen with people that are viewing your channels. Just surprising things that kind of catch you off guard. Anybody ever really caught you off guard in your channel?
Yeah, like a couple of times. Like, I'm sitting by myself with only like 5 viewers, and I'm just like farming out my stuff. Then somebody hosts me with like 200 people. I'm like, wait, what is this? And it was like my first couple months of streaming. Like, wait, why are you hosting me? What is a host? I was mind boggled. Like, why are you bringing people on the stream? Don't leave. Leave. I can't handle all these people.
So what does that for those that don't know, like me and Mac? What does that mean? What does that mean when they host you? It means they view your channel from their channel or something?
Yeah, it's basically just like giving the love to like another channel. Like, hey, I'm unable to stream, so hey, I'm gonna vouch this person. Hey, go head over there and say, hey, what's up?
So like it would be like if Old Bess or came on somebody's Twitch or somebody's podcast and spent some time that maybe their viewers would like quadruple at least.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's basically a big shout out.
Right. So that's cool. So get you a little bit nervous. It's kind of like when we first started, like with anybody, any of these things, whether it's a YouTube, channel or a podcast or Twitch. I don't think it really matters what it is. You start out with like 1, 2, 3 people, maybe 10 people, and then all of a sudden,
then your relatives stop listening.
Then it blossoms. Then it blossoms into something. If it goes well, and that first time you realize, oh crap, 3,000 people just watched me. It's like, what the hell? Was my hair?
What did we say last week? Were we in our best behavior?
Yeah. Why is MSNBC running a story on me? What the hell did I say? Jeez. Anyway. It's on me. So why don't you tell us what's your current favorite way of making gold, and tell us a little bit why that's one that you really like.
My current method of making gold right now my favorite is farming up old materials like the cataclysm, like volatiles, volatile waters, and volatile fires, because I am my main source on my server, the Volatile Sands market, and I'm able to sell those at 100k gold a piece.
Yeah, you know what? You're preaching to the choir because you're the only game in town on that market, right? Isn't that great?
Same thing with the mechanized choppers as well. Nobody makes those no more. So I have.
I wish that was the same on Dalaran. I've got a bunch I'm still trying to unload.
Mac is trying to do that market on Dalaran, and he got a little competition. But you're right, on most realms. you will be the only game in town in most realms on those things, and it's great.
Yeah. The thing about newer content stuff, there's always going to be undercut. There's always going to be competition. But with older, old world content, nobody really farms it. We'll say like probably about 3 to 5 people out of your whole servers trying to push it, unless it's like a high pop server.
Yeah. A lot of our longtime listeners are going to think that I told you to say that because I've been preaching that for a while. It's like for the last, I think, 10 podcasts, I've tried to find some point where I can say that, and people are starting to want me to shut up about that.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you can beat your head against the wall and try to compete with all these people that are trying to make gold off of the current content, or you can say, oh, here's a little market nobody's paying attention to. Those are your choices. And
like this week, I made casually like 30 to 60K off of Hexweed bags. Like I bought a buttload of them for like the Sumptuous Fur for like one gold or two gold. Mm-hmm. And I have a lot of Primal Spirits, and I mass produce those. I make like probably about 60 to 80 of those a week.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in Warlords, there was a time. Now, I have I want to say 30 tailors that were cranking out those Hexweed bags, and with full garrisons. And I was making quite a bit of gold from that. That was like my main source. I had it down to where I was only spending a couple minutes on each tune, just popping into one and then out and then into another one. And made a lot of gold, but then the competition really started picking up. It was current content. And so the prices weren't quite as high as they were, and now everybody's forgotten about them. Now you can make some gold off of Hexweave.
On Dalaran, they're going for about 3K, 3,500 apiece.
Yeah, that's about the same on both my servers as well.
Yeah. So old content is where it's at. And,
if you don't want competition,
right. Now that's not to say if you're early out of the gate on something brand new, or like say there's a holiday event or something like that that's for a limited time, and you're the first person that jumps in on something like that, then yeah, there's great opportunity to be in there early. But if you're not going to be early, then you shouldn't even, in my opinion, mess with that particular market. Right.
Because you're going to be dealing with undercutters and undercutters.
Yeah.
So those are, I mean, we've all had it. The one time where we did something and it just made us a ton of gold. What was your biggest gold making win?
My biggest gold making win was getting 3 TCD items: a Spectre Tiger Cub, a Woolly White Rhino, and a Gassy Charger Skull for 1 copper apiece.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, somebody was moving them.
Yeah, I got a message, and I auto-logged out. I'm like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. I think the message said, oh, man, I was trying to faction transfer them at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was running Sniper, right. And that person was posting all the other TCD items, but my computer was so slow it couldn't handle the Sniper, so I missed out.
So you got 3 of them, and somebody else got a lot of them, right?
Yeah, they posted the Swiss Spectre Tiger, the mounts, all the TCD mounts were on there, and because I saw them, was that the Magic Rooster, because the symbol of the Magic Rooster looks like the monster.
Sorry, that's the
one mount Dex has been looking for.
I've been looking for that mount, and I saw it up, and on my Sniper, I saw the image because I usually pay attention to the image, and it looks like the Monster's Egg quest for Dark Moon Fair. So I didn't think nothing of it, and I was like, wait, why is it epic? Why is it purple? And I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh no! And I try to snipe it, like refresh. Did I get it? No.
Oh no!
That was like.
Yeah, that's Dex's mount. He wants that.
See, now
I want to find one. I want to find one cheap that I can just wave in front of him.
Right. So after this happened, you auto logged so that you didn't have to deal with the guy freaking out on you.
Yeah.
I would have been tempted to shoot him out an email and say, Listen, dude, man, next time you need to dump some TCG mounts, just send them to me COD. I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah, there has been many times I sniped up a lot of stuff, and there's been people like, "Oh, you're botting," and if I try to reply back to them, they'll try to get back at me for harassment. Like,
right?
I don't want to deal with that.
That's because anybody who would put something up in the auction house for a copper has no idea what sniper is, or they would never do that.
Yeah, and
they have no clue.
My server is like a very low pop, medium pop server, and I was surprised even seeing that on my AH.
Yeah,
like I would have expected to see it on like Storm Rage on one of the high pop servers on US.
Yeah. See, now what you should have done was after you grab those 3, tell the guy, say, "Look, I'm not going to sell these back to you. I got to keep these, but I am going to give you a piece of advice that'll help you out. If you want to keep this from happening, Sniper only finds things that are for 1 copper. So next time, put them for like 3 or 4 copper, and it won't happen. And then wait." Now, I'm not saying I've done such a thing before. No. See, people are going to think that I'm just like a real here. I know.
Well, if they've listened to the podcast, no, that's usually only directed towards me.
Well, that reminds me of another story. When I sniped up a back in WAD, was it one of those modules for the AH, the universal module? I bought that for like 10 gold, and it was on Moonguard, and the guy messaged me like 3 or 4 times, say, "Hey, could you give that back to me?" I'm like, "No." Then he gave us a story. He's like, "Oh, it was my son. His only joy in life was to play the gold making thing." I was like, I almost fell for it. I almost felt sympathy. Then one of my viewers brought up, it's like, he's on Moonguard, an RP server. Who would let their son play on Moonguard?
Right.
Then I just
there can be some interesting chat that goes on there. Yeah.
Yeah, don't go to the basement of Goldshire.
I'm totally going now. So are half the people listening right now. They're like, "No, I'm going to have to go see that." What was that? Moonguard, basement of Goldshire. I will be right there. So.
If you want some gold, just be a female character.
Yeah, it's like slut mog. We're the slut mog when I go there, and
yeah, Dex will be over there dancing on the mailbox. Yeah, there we go.
So you've told us about your big win there, and I'm jealous. I would have loved to have gotten the rooster egg, though. I feel your pain there.
He's gonna at the end of the podcast tonight, he's gonna just cry and himself to sleep.
Right. Well. Yeah, that'll be me. So okay. Look, that's only funny because there was one time that somebody said something to me at a party and then thought they hurt my feelings and said in front of my wife. Not wives.
Wives.
I can't afford that. Said in front of my wife, I think I hurt his feelings, and she said he doesn't have any. So, anyway, so you told us about your big win. Everybody has had a big oops moment in their WoW career. I have not found anybody who doesn't have at least one of these. Some of us, like Mac, have a lot of them. So maybe an investment that didn't pan out, or he put something for sale for a copper on the auction house. I don't know. Anything you want to do over?
Speaking of that, copper. Well, you know how I said I control the Vial of the Sands market, right?
Right.
So sometimes I put up on the AH for a 1 copper bid to see if there's any interest on my server. You kind of see what's going on right here.
Right.
So I accidentally put it for a 1 copper buyout.
Oh no.
And it's sold, message the guy, nothing. Like,
well, he's like, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to have to deal with this.
I'm going to log out. Remember me?
You will remember me forever.
Remember me from before with the mounts? Yes.
That would be hilarious if it was the same guy.
The circle of life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. that's bad, man. Yeah, I've done the thing where I've accidentally put something for sale, a whole stack for a single price. I've done that. That's not pretty, depending on what it is.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
One time I put a whole bunch of Starlight Rose dust for the price of Starlight Rose. I felt so bad about that. Somebody bought it, so it's just like, man,
He was when the expansion first came live. He was selling the Starlight Rose dust stacks of 200 for the price of the.
No, I was undercutting. A little bit. I even did some where I dropped a 0 to make people think, "Oh, I got this guy. He screwed up."
Putting up that market value. Yeah. Right before the podcast, I just sniped up a stack of Astral Glory for 27 gold, and they're going, and they're going for 27 gold a piece.
Right. That's nice.
There's some good money to be made in Oregon, so we'll ask you about that here in a minute.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Anyway. So. This is for anybody that's new at making gold. If you were starting over from scratch, what would you do to build your fortune? What method would you use, and what would you avoid?
I would say a lot of people really don't like this comment about, I say, catarades, because it's easy to get you like 6K gold raw. Then that's gonna. It's and if you do that with all your alts, how many alts, and which takes about. If you're like a high level geared tune, especially with Argus, you're able to get to like 880, 900 eye level. You can whip through catarades like in 30 minutes tops.
Like butter.
Yeah.
Like butter. we talked about we've talked about parking tunes out in front of Nax and running Nax, and that's about 1,400 gold. If you just vendor everything.
Well, and Cataclysm's going to be your best. They're going to be your best raid still. Now they adjusted them down and they adjusted everything else up, but it didn't change anything. I mean, it made it less, but it made it less. The other ones really worth doing.
And if you have a potion of treasure finding, which they're like 200 gold, and you get those extra tiny treasure chests, which has like cataclysm materials and like the pyrite ore, that's really hard to farm. It's a pain to farm the pyrite ore, especially for making true gold.
Hey, try this sometime. I don't know if this will work on your realm, but when I would farm, and I'm trying to get the tiny treasure chests, potion of treasure finding. If there aren't that many in the auction house, which usually there's not, I could make them, and I would often make them when there weren't any, but they're a pain in the ass to farm the mats for, to run around and farm the mats for. They just are. Most people won't mess around with it, especially if they don't know where to go for the different herbs. But what I would do sometimes is I would buy all of them out of the auction house and put half of them right back up for double the price. And sometimes I'd end up getting my potions for free. So just reset the market and end up getting them for free. But
and another thing is always look at your calendars. Like there's these holidays that are upcoming, like Hollow's Inn. There's a toy that you're able to farm this rare called the Coin of Many Faces.
Coin of Many Faces. We talked about that last year.
Yeah.
And the Winter Veil. If you have so many tunes, you could just farm those Winter Veil dailies, and you get those Minion and Grumpus, Elixir Rapid Mines, which if you wait, you park those in your guild bank, in your bank for like 3 to 4 months, those things are going to rise up to from 60K up to 100K gold.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely move some of my Fellbat pets over to make room for them.
Oh, no, not the Fellbat pets.
No. He and I cleared out the market. We bought a ton. I mean, I if I was able to sell them, I would make a nice profit right now, but Jimmy Christmas, I got bags and bags of those stupid things.
It just reminds me of all the left sharks and the cinder
pups.
Oh
yeah, there you go. It's just like that. It's just like the left shark, but
that was another investment I did. Like when they said that the Iron Starlet was not going to be available after a certain patch, I bought a bunch of them. and I'm still sitting on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll sell eventually.
Yeah.
Along with my Commodore computer stock.
Well, you know what? You're gonna miss on a few of those. You know, it's a numbers game. You know, you make those investments, and some of them don't pan out. The good news about the Fellbat pets is we're not going to lose any money on them. You know, it's like,
no.
We got them for so cheap that it's.
I bought mine for like 50 or 60 gold, 70 gold a piece, something like that.
Yeah. So it's just that we bought a lot of them.
I buy backpacks full of them.
And another thing I would say is transmog. A lot of people may want them, but it's a very slow market. That's on my server especially.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've made some gold with transmog, but it is slow selling.
Well, transmog is an interesting market. If you're used to turning things over quickly, it might not be the market for you. But if you've got patience, you can just wait for that home run. And most people are more comfortable with hitting a bunch of singles every day and just grinding it out rather than didn't make anything, and then eventually, gold cap bitches, not going to delete that one either.
It took me about 2 months to sell myself a Glorious Legs, and only sold it for $60K like 2 years ago, and it was like, it's such a hassle.
Yeah,
right.
Cancel post, repost,
and if it doesn't have a value over a certain threshold, and the threshold is determined by how much gold you have, I think. If you got to set your threshold, and if it's below that, don't even mess with it. Vendor it or whatever, because it's the reposting of it will drive you nuts, and it takes up a lot of inventory space and all that. So,
yeah, usually what I do, I just see all the transmog I have. I just learn it, then I vendor it, so I have it in my appearance tab.
All right, so I think we've on the show we've established over time what I like to spend my gold on. I like to get all the shiny little mounts and everything. Some people spend
all except for that gold, except for that rooster mount that you can't seem to find.
I'll get it eventually, but rather than I don't do the pets. Some people collect the pets, or some people just kind of like to spend their gold on tokens or what have you. What do you like to spend your gold on? How do you reward yourself for all the hard work?
On currently, mostly, of course, at game time. On both of my accounts, I have like about 2 years on them. I'm waiting till December for like the TCG, not the TCG. I wish it was TCG on the store. The store amounts, which they're like 50% off, which I buy those. Some BMH items, which is the black market auction house. Like some like TCG like toys. I'm a bit of a toy collector and a TCG mount collector. I have 8 out of 16, and sometimes I occasionally buy, trade up my gold for Battle.net balance and use them up for either, give it away to people for a game time or a mount, or, Overwatch boxes and gamble.
There you go. So if I start that petition for cageable mounts that can be transferred from realm to realm and resold, can I count on your signature?
Yeah.
I think every gold maker in the game's going, yeah, I could live with that.
Yeah, I could live with that.
And every mount collector saying the same thing. Yeah, I could see that happening. But I really do think it's going to happen. And
it'd be nice. I'd like to see that.
I do the BMH. I spend about a couple hundreds of K, 200K gold, and the BMH containers. I like to gamble on those. And I got myself several mounts I already learned. I wish I could just like sell those on the AH.
Man, I know. There are places that some of these mounts that drop in the dungeons that I get over and over again. Other ones that just never seem to drop. Forever. It took me, famously on the podcast, people know how long it took me to get Ashes of Alar. It took me several hundred runs to get it.
It's easy.
And Matt got it the very first time he entered the zone. So the day before I got it.
think
the day before.
I think that's the amount that came out of the BMH container that I already learned.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's a gold cap sell right there. I mean, that's 10 million right there. If you could get that and cage it, most people that collect mounts that don't have ashes would pay 10 million for it. I think there are a lot that would pay it. I don't know, maybe just me. I could have saved a lot of time if I had all of those hours back to farm content. Yeah, I think I could have paid for it many times over, probably.
Because I farm up the Veil all the time, I usually give away those Lonnies of Thunder Ruby Cloud Serpents, because you have to get those 10 sky shards to make one sky crystal. Yeah. Now, because the whole thing that you're able to, up to 5 people are able to tag the same mob. So up to 5 people are able to get that mount. So I give away like 100 plus of those Lonnies.
Oh man, they must love you, because my younger brother started doing that to make gold. He did a bunch of those, and he would charge for a spot. I think he charged $30K a spot or something like that.
On our advice.
That's an average. I have actually know one other streamer. He sold one for one spot for $900K.
Oh, no way.
No.
That guy was a sucker.
I guess so.
And he talked to the Blizz employees like, hey, is this guy got hacked or anything? He's like, nope, I guess he really wanted that mount.
Well, I mean, the way it is now, it's about an hour a shard?
Yeah, roughly. Unless you do the wolf farm, which you're able to get like 4 to 5 in an hour.
Okay, so even better. Yeah, I mean, I was seeing about an hour per shard when I was doing it back in the day. So
yeah, the most kills I got was like 32,000 just for one shard.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dozer, if there was a piece of advice you wanted to pass on to some of our listeners, something we haven't covered so far, what would it be?
I would say a lot of perseverance, patience, and use a lot of your resources that are out on the internet, YouTube, the WoW Economy, Reddit, Discord.
WoW Economy, Reddit is awesome.
Yeah. Trade Skill Master, Undermine Journal, WoW Wuxin, WoW Professions if you want to farm and where to farm them.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like another place that's good for like information.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
Goblin Goldcast.
Oh, yeah.
I was letting that go. I knew he was taking a shot, saying I can't think of any other place that anybody could know.
Goblin Goldcast. There's a lot of
just being a smart aleck.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, and a lot of people will shy away from putting in some time to research. I think if you're old school though, and you played any of the old MMOs where you really couldn't find out much without going to a third-party site for a lot of these. I know EverQuest was that way. You couldn't even figure out how to play the game usually unless you went to a third-party site.
My God!
How to put an add-on in World of Warcraft? Oh, yeah, to take it, download it, extract it from the folder, put it into there. Now we have a client that's able to put the add-on for us.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh my word.
Yeah, they're dumbing it down. Well, you're about 30. You're about 30 years old, right? I blame your generation. I totally do. So what's up with millennials anyway? I'm not going to do that to you. I do it. My son's 32. I do that to him all the time, and he just kind of shakes his head and looks down. Anyway. Oh man. Well. Besides, he looks at
his son and goes, a condom would have just solved this all. No, I'm sorry.
See, now he listens to the show, unlike my wife. He can't do that. I got to edit that out now. You're going to make him feel bad, and he knows where you live. So.
Yeah, but he's got to be able to make it up here. Yeah. So
he's been fishing in Alaska, and he has every incentive to come back. He would love to come back. He's looking for an excuse. So
yeah, let's take care of this Matt guy.
Yeah. Well, listen. Besides your Twitch and YouTube videos and our podcast, there are a lot of other places out there that are devoted to bringing people gold making content. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to single out? Maybe somebody worth a shout out, or I mean, you can name a few if you like. Maybe somebody that you would classify as a must interview person for our podcast.
There's quite a few that, in the many years that I've been in the gold making community, there has been an influx of gold makers, and they kind of like strayed away and doing other stuff. A student Albatross, you probably have heard of him.
Oh yeah.
Gumdrops TSM. He's one of the I think one of the lead developers for Tradesco Master, and Zionic and Shara, which majority of the people in the community has used their the profile, which is very immense and like subgroups galore. It's everything is so organized.
Now student, we've got him on our list, and I'm definitely going to make an effort there.
Gumdrops we were working on. It's a time issue. It's the times that he's available and times that we're available just have not been able to work out yet. But yeah, we've been in contact with him as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a scheduling thing. He's only willing to come on if I'm not on, and so we have to find the time when I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he has like a short streaming schedule. He's only on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
But he's currently in the States right now.
Hey, listen, this has been great. We've really enjoyed the interview. Lots of great information here, and a couple of shots at Mac, which everybody seems to love that part of the show. So that's worked out. That's worked out well.
Yeah, and the shots I've made at Dex that are going to be cut out during the editing process.
Yeah, what shots? I don't remember. I remember a couple that sailed by and didn't hit their target, but I don't remember anything actually connected.
Okay. All right. That's your story. Anyways, well, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Dozabob, and on my Twitter is @DozaBobTV, and the same thing on YouTube as well, DozaBobTV.
All right, man. Well, thanks again, and it's been awesome.
We really appreciate you coming on. Again, appreciate it at short notice.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I think that's going to about wrap up this week's show. I'd like to thank Schaefer Bates for his awesome work as the Goblin voice at the beginning of each show. Also, Kevin McLeod at Incomputech.com for our theme music, Hot Rock, licensed under Creative Commons.
And if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can contact us at Mac, that's M-A-C, at GoblinGoldcast.com, or Dex, that's D-E-X, at GoblinGoldcast.com. If you can't reach us at our main email, we have an alternate email, MacGoblinGoldcast at gmail.com. You can contact us on Twitter at GoblinGoldcast, or you can visit us on Facebook.
And listen, if you'd like to support the show, don't forget to visit the swag store at cafepress.com/Goblin Goldcast. And you can leave us a voicemail on our website, GoblinGoldcast.com. And please subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or Player FM if you listen to us there.
And we'll see you next week.
Now go make some gold.
That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but...
Okay.
Now, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out?
Sting is going to do, it's a video, Sting video. Okay.
What is...
For credits.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. F*** it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. F***ing thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.